vote, to vote against it, which has happened when you had such a strongly Republican Senate and Congress. These kind of issues, how anybody could oppose something that protects women just blows my mind. But that's the world we live in.
It's amazing. It's incredible.
Yep.
I mean, and with the same breath, some of these same people will hold their Bible up and offer a prayer, and then what hypocrisy. That's what
Tremendous.
gets me all the time.
Well, it gets me too. And then, I see this hypocrisy now about, people saying it's my right whether I wear a mask or not,
Exactly.
It's my body, but yet they want to legislate a woman's right to choose because that's not her body. And these things blow me away, blow my mind.
Yes, the hypocrisy is never ending.
Never ending, yeah.
And it gets to the point where you wonder, where is just some basic common sense, in people's lives.
Right.
You watch. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and also just, an openness to other people and reaching out with some kindness and, understanding that everything is not black and white. Everything is not one issue. There's a breadth of things that you have to take into account. It can't just be one thing. And, I have to say that my experience with Violence Against Women Act is, for me, it was, eye-opening and wonderful to learn about it and then to see what I can do to support it. And I was very fortunate to be in a place where I could. I think there are a lot of ways we can support these types of topics. But my interaction with people in politics, and I, very early on in my career, when I was in college, I was a real revolutionary. That changed and I got a job and I actually had to make a living and stuff. But, my experience with the people I met politically through the work with Violence Against Women Act was that people who were balanced was very rare. And that's one of the things that I really saw in Joe Biden. And then in all of these years since then, with the friendships that he made across the aisle, with the way he worked across the aisle, all of that just continued to support what I had seen, so many years ago in him. So I'm very excited to vote for him, I have to say, because when do you have a personal thing where you've actually met somebody, in that
right.
kind of in that kind of role? So it's very exciting for me, and hopefully for the country.
That's exactly right, and he has done so many good things and over a career and stood by so many different groups, especially the working class people. It blows. It's mind-boggling how anyone could vote against him who are in the working class of this country. I just don't understand it. And and you say, like, a woman's right to protect her body. Well, yes, it's a woman's right to choose. What she does with her body to legislate and for just common sense items, And back to the face mask issue, we were talking about there briefly. It's amazing how some people. I've seen this protest here recently. People wanting to demand that they take off their. They want to have a law passed that it's an option to wear a face mask. Well, it makes some people, back when we first started wearing seat belts in cars, a lot of people compare it to that. People were saying, no,
right.
it's going to injure me if I wear a seat belt. No, well, you're going to be more chance of being injured if you don't wear a seat belt.
Right.
And,
right.
And
right.
so,
you hit it. You totally hit it. I don't understand. It's so easy. Just wear the mask. Nobody likes wearing a mask. It's not fun for anybody. But if everybody does it, everybody will be better.
Right. And you watch the stats in Florida. I'm amazed. You should go back and play some of these clips about Florida was one of those, and we still don't have a state mandate to wear a mask. We still don't.
Right.
And they refuse to do it. And the stats are coming out, even though they try to suppress the correct information. That that's why Florida's rates are dropping. And I'm being sarcastic when I say this. Some of the freedom-loving states that are not wearing masks are most opposed to it have some of the highest cases right now of the COVID. And it's mind-boggling how people can think it's their right to infect their neighbors and kill people, and because of negligence. It is this negligence,
Right.
So,
well, it's also a tremendous sense of narcissism. Again, if you feel you shouldn't have to wear a mask, but maybe you just do it because it would be nice to do it for your neighbors. I mean, why does it have to become such a raison d'etre, a life or, why does it have to become such an aggressive thing? So yeah, I would prefer not to wear a mask, but they say that if I do, it really helps everybody. Maybe I should give it a try.
Exactly. Exactly. I read a column in the paper. People complained about the same thing, but they were complaining because this is back when they were first starting to require them in grocery stores and on the public areas, and people demanding that the management of these stores enforce it, and probably wear the mask. And so then someone wrote to the newspaper and said, well, why don't we have certain stores that I think they were referring to a supermarket chain, that those stores, people who do not wear a mask can all shop in that store, and then maybe we will weed those people out of the population.
Oh my God! I don't even want to go down that path.
Right. And but I love the sarcasm they were putting in there, and because it's amazing. There's people with some common sense in this country who want to protect other people, want to protect their own lives, and want to protect the lives of people around us. And we don't have. And what big problem is it if we have to wear a mask when we go out in public and places like that, and the stats are showing it up. That's part of the reason. That's the main reason. It's not part of it. It's one of the main reasons that Florida has been able to start seeing its caseload go down, and it's because they're wearing masks. Yeah. Right. And
it's a remarkable thing, and if you look at had everybody just started wearing masks in March, we would be so far better off now. The kids would be back in school. It is amazing. But the fighting of that, and if you look at what happened in New York, the way they curbed it because of what they did, it shows that if you do things the right way, if everybody participates, if you analyze everything with data, because the way that the governor of New York opened the state is he created a list of criteria, and as each county met that criteria, they opened. So it was not, well, I like you, but I don't like you. It was all about meeting the using statistics to meet the criteria, the requirements, and then they opened. And they've maintained it, and they've been doing really, really well. And instead of the rest of the country learning from that, you have people who go rogue and say, oh, no, we're never going to, you're not allowed to have a mask mandate, like the guy did in Georgia, Brian Kemp in Georgia.
Right.
Crazy.
It's insanity, absolute insanity, and it's amazing how much we have learned here. And you're exactly right. And why is only the United States and some other countries that are kind of like the United States in such a mess? We're supposed to be the richest and most progressive country in the world, and here we are leading the world in the number of deaths and the number of infections. It's mind-boggling, and we have to look at the very top leadership of this country and put blame where it belongs because of all the
100%. Yes, 100%, and everything is outlined in that book Rage. Everything is outlined in that too.
Yes, you're right. It's there, and the people, and if you look at, it's mind-boggling to me how people can even think about supporting someone like that, someone that has not had the best interests of this country as first priority and has had his own selfish interest and those around him. It's just mind-boggling.
Yes. From day one.
Okay.
Never,
well, Robin,
ever cared.
We're running down out of our time here. So what I need to do is close out here, and we got about a minute and a half left. So I want you to make your closing statement here, and then we will end the interview. Okay, maybe we'll have you back again in the future here, because you are such a fascinating person to talk with. It is it's you've got a career. But anyway, tell us some your closing thoughts here, and about the Violence Against Women's Act, and anything else you want to throw in.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure to spend time with you. What I want to say is that the Violence Against Women Act and the status of it now is just the tip of the iceberg. There are hundreds of different pieces of legislation that this current administration has walked away from that are critical to us being the best country that we can be. And my belief is that supporting someone like Joe Biden and down the whole ticket, all of the Democrats to retake the Senate and maintain the House is really critical to us retrieving the kind of position that we had. And it's going to take a lot of time and hard work on everyone's part to get there. So that's my last comment, Steve.
Thank you so much, Robin. You are incredible. Again, it's been such a thrill to have you here today, and to talk with you and learn some of this great background against hopefully our future president and the Violence Against Women Act. Thank you again, and thank you for listening.
It's been my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for listening, and we hope you are enjoying today's discussion. This has been Coastal Progressive Rainbow Forum on Society Bites Radio, and I have been your host, Steve Ryan.